I'm going to show you on our Lightport how the Anyline integration into an SAP system landscape can work. There is of course a lot of different options, but the basic architectural styles are always the same. So the first thing we have is we have a mobile application. So we have a mobile app, an application using Anyline SDK. This is of course the requirement that we have here. On the other hand, if we have our SAP systems, if we have a look on our SAP systems, we are here in the on-premise side, which means this is running in your own data centers. This can be an S/4HANA system, but this can also be an ERP system, a classical business suite that you might know. For integrating Anyline or any other application with an SAP system, there is different options. You can develop REST services, you can develop SOAP, you can use OData. And the OData is basically the easiest way to go from a development perspective and also from a monitoring perspective. So here in the SAP system, we provide an OData API. And that's also something I will show you later on the system, what this can look like or what this looks like in a real implementation. And we can more or less connect directly to this SAP system. This would be one option. From a technical point of view, we are using HTTPS here. This means that your system must be either accessible via the internet, which is usually not the valid option for most customers, or you can have a permanent VPN on your mobile device, or a per app VPN that activates whenever you start the application. Usually you always use a reverse proxy here. So you're going to use a reverse proxy here, but this doesn't really solve the problem because you are still accessible, visible out of the internet at this network edge here. Basically here we have our line separating the public network, okay, we cannot see this, separating the public network, the internet, from our internal on-premise network. What SAP offers now is an option that you can use the mobile services for mobile use cases. So we can use the SAP Cloud Platform mobile service. This is a service offered on a per user base. The license is paid per user, and the mobile services can securely integrate with your SAP on-premise system. This can be done very easily, because here you install a component called SAP Cloud Connector. The SAP Cloud Connector opens a TLS tunnel from your on-premise system to the SAP Cloud Platform. So here we have a TLS tunnel, and the traffic is routed via this TLS tunnel to your on-premise system. And what this means is at this stage here, on the network edge, you don't need any incoming firewall ports open, so you're not visible from the internet. Of course, the app has now to connect to the mobile services, but with the mobile services you get a lot of features here. So here one of the most interesting features is of course offline capabilities. We also have the complete onboarding process. We have the different authentication options. We have analytics and so on. So there you get a real value for this cloud platform by this cloud platform mobile services. On the other hand, you have some analytics here so that you can easily monitor your applications, the usage of the applications, and you can even get the log files remotely from the applications, from the mobile devices. If you are faced with an error, if you have to solve or search for the root cause of an error. Basically, what this means is SAP offers different SDKs. So here in the development process, we have different SDKs that we can use. SDK is a software development kit, and if you know SAP and the SAP user interface strategy, you might know or you might have heard that Fiori is the way to go for the future for SAP, for all SAP applications. So one of the SDKs that we can use is the Fiori SDK. So we can use the Fiori standard development, the hybrid development that you've done or maybe will do in the future in your SAP systems. Which means from the SDK point of view, we have two different options that we can use with Anyline. One is native SDKs and the other one is hybrid SDKs. With hybrid SDKs, this means that you can use, for instance, SAP UI5 or Fiori for developing your applications. Native means that you develop applications in the programming language of iOS and Android or Android. This can be either Swift, this can also be Objective-C if you want, I do not recommend this, and it can be Kotlin or Java on the Android native side. So this means that you have completely different skill sets that you require, but basically it always works the same. You get an SDK giving you a lot of boilerplate code that is already generated for you, and you only have to call this SDK functions, methods that you get provided, and integrate it into your application. And therefore you can also dramatically speed up the development process. And on the other hand, you shift a lot of responsibilities in the area of security from your own company to SAP, because the customer or the user doesn't access the SAP system directly. So things like intrusion detection, GUIP filtering, denial of service attack detection, malware scanning and so on, this must not be performed by you on the network edge. This is performed here by SAP. So this would be the network edge calling the SAP system. So this is the load balancers running in the cloud platform. And SAP takes care about intrusion detection, malware scanning, virus scanning, intelligent, of course, intrusion detection, denial of service attack detection. So a lot of things that you don't have to take care about. So this is the first line of defense here, more or less. And you don't have to care about these topics in the SAP system. So basically, you only get the filtered traffic to your SAP system. And you don't have the need to implement all this intrusion detection systems and so on if you're accessed out of the internet. Yes, and of course, if you don't have an SAP on-premise system, we can also connect this to cloud systems. So we can connect the cloud platform mobile services via OData, and that's the only requirement that we have, via OData to other cloud systems, like for instance S/4HANA Cloud. If your system does not provide an OData interface, there is another option. So if your system does not provide an OData interface, you can call CPI, SAP Cloud Platform Integration. That's the middleware that is offered by SAP in the cloud platform. This can provide an OData interface, and you can call other technologies like REST and SOAP APIs in the CPI and offer them as an OData service. So here we have an OData service, and here we can have REST, SOAP, or OData again. Let's just write REST and SOAP here. So this can also help you. Of course, this is an additional item on the price list. So if you have the full setup, you have this one as a licensing option, as a licensing part, the Cloud Platform Mobile Services, and the CPI. Yeah, I hope that you now understand the different options that we have when it comes to integrating Anyline into the SAP systems from a technical point of view, from an architectural point of view. And we will now answer further questions or go ahead with the webinar, with the presentation.